When we turn 18, we find ourselves in the corridor of life. Previous generations stood in a small, darkly lit corridor with only a small number of unlocked doors to choose from. Once they chose a door, it slammed shut behind them, locking itself and forcing them to stay in the first room they chose. But today is different. We stand in a modern, brightly lit corridor lined with an endless number of unlocked doors that stretches beyond the eye can see. We can poke our heads in, look around, see if we like it, and then leave and choose another door. We gaze up and down the endless corridor of doors. Choosing one option means disregarding the endless other options available. So we choose very carefully. That is, if we ever choose at all. An endless number of opportunities are displayed before us, and all we have to do is choose one, but we prefer to stand in the corridor. We roam up and down the hall, going to each door one by one, pulling it ajar, peeking inside and saying, nah, before moving on to the next one. We look inside each door and sometimes we like what we see. This room seems nice, we think, before closing it and moving on to the next one. A decade goes by and there we are, still standing in the corridor by ourselves without a place to call home. Today, we walk around with an electric rectangle of infinite options in our pocket at every hour of the day. In every single direction, we have an endless number of options. If you want to buy a laptop, we have an endless number of options. If we want to choose a career path, we have an endless number of options. If you want to choose a romantic partner, we have an endless number of options. And for the digital nomads among us, if we want to choose a place to live, we have an endless number of options. Options. We are absolutely inundated with options. But here's the thing, options don't exist. Let me repeat that. Options do not exist. An option only exists after we choose it. Until then, they are nothing more than phantoms in our own mind. You might have more than 1,000 matches on Tinder. You might look gleefully at all of these options and feel as though you're the king of the world. Yet you can only go on a date with one person at a time. You might have the opportunity to visit and work from any country that you want. You might look at Google Maps and marvel at all the different countries that you could visit. Yet you can only be in one country at a time. You might even be famous with one of the most popular Instagram accounts in the world. Perhaps every single time you post a photo, you're slammed with compliments from thousands of people. Your inbox might be jam-packed with requests to different events and parties. Yet you can only be in one room at any given time. Do you understand? Options do not exist until chosen. Today, many of us live in a perpetual state of keeping our options open. We don't want to choose anything. We don't want to choose a romantic partner. We don't want to choose a job. We don't want to choose a fixed place to live. Something better may be around the corner and we don't want to regret our choice. This laptop has 8 gigs of RAM, a touchscreen, and is only $350. But then there's that other laptop with 16 gigs of RAM and a cool silver design for $500. This date is going great. And this girl is cute. But then there's that other girl I'm speaking to on Tinder. She's cute too. I love my job as a bartender. My boss is awesome and my colleagues are super fun. But then I could earn more money in marketing, or I could try to make it on YouTube, or maybe I could move to Thailand and teach English. But here's the problem. Deciding not to choose is a choice in and of itself, and deciding not to choose, to forever keep your options open, standing in the endless corridor, will eventually make you miserable. We do not live forever. Our time alive is limited, so we cannot choose all of the options presented to us. The truth is, life is better when you choose something. When you go all in, when you burn the boats, when you throw your hat over the fence, that's when life gets good. We are happier when our life has restrictions. This might seem strange to someone from a Western culture that holds freedom above all other values, but when there are no boundaries on our life, we get lost. Relationships, whether romantic, are by their very nature restrictive. To have a relationship with somebody is to choose somebody and close off all other options. And it's only in closing off all other options that we can truly give all of ourselves to another person. Agonizing over whether your love is the real thing, wondering if you could find a partner who's better in bed, or flicking through dating apps browsing for better options is a recipe for misery. It's only when you make a decision that you will not reverse your choice that you can truly pour all of your energy into improving your relationship instead of constantly second guessing it. It's only when you choose a career and close off all other options that you can become wildly successful. If you're constantly switching from one career choice to the next, you will end up with mediocre skills in a large number of areas. When you choose a career, you have the chance to be massively rewarded monetarily or with incredible opportunities. It's only when you throw away all other career options that you can truly become a professional. If you do not choose, you'll forever be an amateur and a dabbler. With the internet in particular, we have been given a technology that allows us to see an endless number of options in all areas of our lives. We may be able to see an endless number of options, but we can only choose one or two. Living with constraints and restrictions imposed on yourself is a more fulfilling way to live than living completely free. In each area of your life, choose a lane and then stick with it for a reasonable amount of time before considering switching options. Throw away all of your options and go all in. Do one thing at a time, but do that one thing completely. Stop standing in the endless corridor. Choose a door. Burn the boats, throw your hat over the fence, and live.